everybody, this is VisitJoan, and welcome to another Sims 4 Discovery University speed build. Actually, I believe this is going to be the first one of 2020, or at least I'm going to make it the first one of 2020. I'm kind of planning to. I haven't figured out what I'm doing for January yet, but I should probably do that tonight. But anyway, you guys, this build is the Foxbury Student Center, which actually replaces the Foxbury Commons, and funny thing is that when I was building this, I put the front in the back of the lot, and I didn't do it on purpose this time. I know you guys haven't seen that video yet, but I've already made it, and I've already built the lot, so apparently I made the front and the back, so I did fix that at the end, but before I get too into the build here, I want to take care of a few, housekeeping announcement kind of things. I kind of wanted to do an announcement, maybe put it up New Year's Day, but then I realized, the whole announcement would pretty much just be me complaining. So nobody wants to listen to that, I realized. So I'm just going to do this here. First thing you probably noticed is the new intro, and I kind of wanted to wait till the new year to do the new intro, just because, well, I don't know. I mean, I thought it was kind of a good idea just to start fresh with the new year and everything, but I actually got off my butt and did an intro. So, well, actually it was all video editing, so kind of for most of it I sat on my butt, but you guys get the point. Anyway, I do have plans to do a channel trailer, but that kind of requires me going outside, which this time of year isn't going to happen. Also, I just want to note that, with the release of The Sims 4 Discovery University, I was actually doing 3 videos a week just because I had, had motivation to build, and I just kept doing stuff and building and building and building and making these videos. But now that it's January, and January is a really, bad time for YouTube, even with me, not making money and everything, I still feel like, I should probably just tone things down in January because February is going to be big. But, anyway, you guys, I'm going back to 2 videos a week, and that's probably going to be Friday, Tuesday again. So, just to let you guys know, the schedule will change when I see fit, just because now the days are actually getting longer. So, each day I have more time to work, which, it's like a few minutes each day, but it's not something to complain about. So, I'm happy about that. It's all, well, not really, but, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. There will almost always be a video on Friday. If that's not the case, I will let you know. But now let's get on to the actual build here, and, I really just don't like it when people say these things about, the pre-made builds, just because, there was a time, not that long ago, when I wished I could build as well as what came with the game. I mean, I'm serious, my builds were horrible, which really just shows you, how much progress I've made since last April, but anyway, the Foxbury Commons that came with the game really just left a lot to be desired. I mean, I was looking at it, and it just felt like empty. There was a lot of empty space. It looked like unfinished. It looked like, what the heck is actually going on here? And, I realized that not everybody has a super fancy computer that I have, and it has to be able to run on every single computer, but still, I mean, a lot of people, are calling it the worst build in Discovery University, and I don't know if I take it that far, but it just wasn't doing it for me, so it needed a makeover. So I was pretty much more than happy to give it one, and I really like how it turned out. I guess I say that about all the builds I make, but, right here, I saw somebody do a build where they had, how would I say this, a little sunken part of the room, and I decided, I really wanted to do that. Well, there wasn't enough room, so I had to extend the commons, and then I had to, build all this stuff back in, and it was just, oh my goodness, it's a pain in the mess, just if you don't do it, right away, or, intend to in the first place, or whatever I'm saying. I don't know, I should probably just quit while I'm ahead, but, I wanted to make it, have, more of a cafeteria space, and I saw in another video somebody actually put the station inside a room with a little door that goes to it. So that's what I did here, and I think it looks pretty good. I put a whole different bunch of tables in it. I made it look really modern by having some parts of it, completely stick out from the the building, as you can see here, and being held up by supports. And I did have a lot of fun with skylights and the little see-through roofs and stuff like that. So what is in here? In here is, there's a quiet study area. There's a, I wrote all of this out when I put the lot on the gallery, and now I have to say it again. I'll have to write it all again when I do the description. But anyway, there's a quiet study, there's a little library, there's a room for the robotics club because, well, that's kind of like the requirement for the lot type. But there's, the cafeteria, there's a little, there's a study room, there's a computer lab, there's, just stuff. There's an area for students to just hang out and have some fun upstairs. And there's also a basement. And in the basement, there is a little bowling alley because that's what was in my school. Like, literally, there was a bowling alley in the basement of the student center, which was really kind of cool. I mean, I used it a couple of times with a bunch of other people because back then, people actually invited me to do stuff. Well, no, actually, I was with a group, and the group did it. But I figured that, it would be a nice touch to add here because, I don't know about you, but studying can just become draining at times. And sometimes you just need a break from it all. And that's kind of what this place is. It provides, students with a break. There's, probably some events being held here and stuff like that. But it's also a place where, students can do work, where students who commute can spend, time when they're not in class or like time between classes. And I know what that means because I did go to a commuter school for about 2.5 years. But it's also, a place where students can get something to eat. Again, students that commute, they can also, get free meals here. So, yeah, that's a thing. And I kind of used, a lot of red, especially in the bowling alley basement, because, Foxbury colors, which is really just interesting because, red was one of my school colors. My school colors were red and black, which was really just like kind of weird because, I spent 3 years in middle school being told, never wear red and black, never wear red and black. That's bad. You shouldn't do it. One day even, a bunch of people just showed up to school wearing red and black, and they kind of got in trouble for it. But actually, once I went to high school, nobody cared. But, so having the school's colors be red and black was just kind of interesting. But yeah, so I did put, Foxbury colors in here, so it wasn't that too unfamiliar with what I was doing, but, okay, so we're 7.5 minutes in. I've talked a lot about the build already, and now it's time for my little rant of the week. And I'm sorry for those of you who do not like this stuff, but this is pretty much my platform where I can just not complain, but just talk and have people listen to me in an unbiased kind of way and not, have people give me flack for it and stuff like that. So here we go. Okay, it's the day after Christmas and last Christmas of my 20s. And as those of you who constantly watch my videos know, I am not in the best frame of mind right now because of things that happened over, it's just, I had hope and the whole world let me down. And so I'm not in the best, mindset right now. Well, I had a family member who has no idea exactly what happened kind of suggest something that was just totally off. And that kind of really just put me in a sour mood for, the rest of the day. And then once we got to my aunt's house, I was okay, but it's just I only had 2 things to open and everybody else is opening stuff, which is just, it's not great, but I did get money, which would be fantastic if money could actually solve my problems. But what really kind of caught me off guard is that, my cousin is getting married, in case you didn't know that, next July. And also, in case you didn't know, I have a really bad history when it comes to weddings. But I overheard my cousin's fiance talking to my cousin's brother, about going to a tux fitting, which I didn't even know was a thing. I mean, really, just, it's a tux. They all look the same. I mean, okay, yeah, they don't, but... And they were talking about, what colors for him to wear. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh, dear God, there's going to be a wedding party, he's going to be in it, and I'm going to be in the audience. And that's not going to be a good thing, because, I'm an only child. These 2 cousins were the closest things I had to siblings growing up. They were who I grew up with. We were the 3 amigos, and I know that's kind of got some bad context right now. 3 amigos, 3 musketeers, 3 whatever. The Animaniacs, as which we did once. That was my idea. But anyway, the cousin that is getting married, he's 5 years older than me and my other cousin, because my other cousin is 6 months younger than me. So, growing up, I pretty much worshipped the ground he walked on. I mean, okay, you know how in Ben 10 Alien Force, when they're going to try to find Kevin, well, not Kevin, no, Ken, in the one episode, and, Gwen and Ben are always talking about how cool Ken was? Yeah, that was Dan, okay? He was the cool one. He was the one that beat every single computer game before we could even figure it out, because we were too young to play and he was old enough, and I still feel like I'm too young to play some of these games, even though I'm in my 20s, but, that's the way it was. He would build, like, a castle out of blocks, and every time I got blocks out, I would build the exact same thing, or at least try to, because there was no way I could ever do anything as cool as he could. It was one of those things. Whenever I think back fondly on my childhood, which really they were kind of the best things to think fondly of, because, well, okay, school life wasn't great, but the best memories of my childhood were with these two, and so, when it makes sense, that one of them is getting married, not only do I finally get invited, but, I also can enjoy myself like everybody else gets to and all this other stuff. And I know they're brothers, and they probably have a closer bond than I did with either one of them, but to me, it was the three of us. That was, and to have both of them up there, and to have me in the audience, that's not going to be fun. I'm not going to lie here. And at this point, I suppose I should just be happy that I just got invited. But that's not going to make it any less awkward during the ceremony. I mean, trust me, I've been in situations before during, events where everybody else in the group was doing something and I was just standing there by myself, and it was awkward. I've had people say it's only awkward if you make it, and I'm like, no, that's not how that works, especially if you're me and you're constantly being left out every single time you're a part of something. Especially when that part, happens to be the in crowd, and, well, you had your chance to be one, and not only did you not get to be in the in crowd, but you didn't even get to go to the actual event. And which I did, if you didn't know, lose a friend over, the person I called my closest friend. That's kind of my bad history here, and if that's the case, it's just going to be awkward that the two most important people of my childhood are a part of this wedding, and I'm not there. It's just like, wait, what? Do I not mean as much to you? Do I not? I mean, what did I do to deserve this? Other than, I was pretty much just born to the wrong set of parents. That's it. That's everything. It's just, oh my goodness. Okay. You know what? Rant over. I'm done. If you guys really, I'm sorry if you didn't want to hear that, but I just needed to talk about that to someone that's not, a family member that's involved with this. And I don't have very many options, but if you listen to that whole thing, thank you. I really appreciate it. And thank you for understanding that sometimes, especially now, I just need to get things off my chest. So thank you so much if you listen to all of that. Okay, back to the build. Yeah, the building in the little sunken area was a little bit frustrating, just because when you build something that's like next to a foundation or something like that, it just all of a sudden just, you try to put it against it and it just goes up to the height of the, I don't even know what the heck you call it, but yeah, it's just annoying when it does that. There's no way to get around it. And so yeah, I'm doing the computer lab right now, and here I did run into a problem because one of the requirements for this type of build is a desk. And I figured I had tables here because I could put computers on both sides of the table, but tables don't count as desks, which is really just kind of stupid. I mean, I know there's a difference. But in a modern campus like Foxbury, a desk would be for putting a computer on. So if I put a computer on something, it should kind of be considered a desk. Because once you get into those, technical majors like computer science, and I would know because I have a computer science degree, but, you don't really do any, desk work. I mean, any, literally desk work I did was there was, one assignment that I had to do with, pen and paper after, my third year. So, and I kind of say that with, a grain of salt because due to mental health issues, I spent 6 years getting a 4-year degree. So, if you are also afflicted by that, you are not the only ones. But people who, didn't have those issues and stayed at the school the entire time they were getting the degree probably would have taken all of those classes like freshman or sophomore year. So really, most of the work would be done on a computer. So there wouldn't really, in a technical campus like this, there wouldn't really be much use for desks without computers. And I realize that they do offer other degrees and that there would be space for that, but people have desks in their rooms or their homes, so I don't know. It just felt like the basic point is that I had to find some other place to put desks, even though I had computers on stuff. I mean, I guess I could have put it in the computer lab on desks against the wall, but then that just would have looked weird. And I don't know. I mean, in elementary school it was cool when the first 2 rows of computers were all those iMac computers with the colors, and those of you that were born in the 90s will know what I'm talking about. But when the last row of computers were just the older Mac models. But in college it really just doesn't look aesthetically pleasing, and so I just didn't do it, and I just put my own quiet study room. Also, this is the building where the robotics club meets, so I gave them their own little room and little kind of robot workshop, and I put a bunch of robotics stuff there. And it's really interesting to think that the computer science major in this game has you build the robotics skill, because when I was in school we learned nothing about robots except for maybe how they think. And let me tell you right now, they are not smart enough to take over the world. I mean, computers do exactly what you tell them to and nothing else, which can actually be pretty annoying at times. But anyway, now we are on to the bowling alley, and I kind of thought about the bowling alley at my school that was in the bottom of the student center, and I kind of just figured about bowling alleys and even those that aren't on college campuses, and just think about what they had. I kind of did what I did in bowling alleys in this game in the past. If you saw that one video, the tour of all the community lots, it will kind of look familiar, except this one's pretty much red because Foxbury colors. But there's a bar down here just because, I figured not only would it function as a bar, but it would also function as a counter where you would get your bowling shoes and all that other stuff. And then I put, a couple other video games down here because, well, the arcade games and the game machines are something that, a regular bowling alley would have. And then, in the bowling alley area, they called it the Husky Den because our school mascot was the Husky. And so, yeah, it was the Husky Den. So, they would have actual video game systems and computers there that you could play. So people play Super Smash Brothers or whatever. I guess now it would be Fortnite, but I don't know. But yeah, that's what people would do down there. So I did give a TV and a game system so students could come down here and play. There's also kind of a mini library on the second floor, and I didn't think I would put a real library there because there's probably already one on campus. And there's also one, in the town as well. But I kind of put a little bit of some older fashioned furniture in there that were in Foxbury colors, because I don't know, when I hear library, I don't think of something modern. I think of something a little bit older, and I kind of wanted the feel to it that it was a library that maybe was a little bit older. I don't know, I just like the particular feel to it that, even on a modern campus just like this one, it still has kind of a slight touch of the little bit of old fashions. I didn't think that was completely and totally messed up, but otherwise I just had a little seating area in the entrance area over here. That's pretty much what I'm doing right now. And this also has, a little recreational area for students just to play some games up here, because I don't think there was that in the upstairs of the student center at my school, but there definitely was in the downstairs bowling alley area. So I figured this would be a great place for, students just to chill out and just de-stress a little bit. And I also know that there was a ping pong table in the old building, so I kind of carried that on to this one because I thought that was just a good idea, just to have, students de-stress and stuff like that. And, in the buildings in The Sims 2 and The Sims 3, there was stuff like that as well there. So, yeah, can we talk for a minute about how they didn't have, a bunch of, communal activities in this? I mean, they had the soccer and the keg thing and the, stuff like that, but I mean, both The Sims 2 and The Sims 3 came with, arcade machines, so I don't know what was going on there, but, yeah, this area, I tried to get away from using the, furniture I used in the housing, but in the end, it just wasn't feasible, because this is what looked modern, and that's what matched the style of the campus, so that's pretty much what I went with over here, and the last room, which you will see in a minute, is kind of just a performance room where students can, if there are students who have music as their hobby or even as their major, because they do offer that degree here. But, students who do that can just perform their stuff, maybe poetry, do karaoke, play instruments, to other people if they just want to, come in and just watch stuff. And it's just kind of like a little performance area where they can de-stress. And this was really interesting because, I don't know if this actually works. I didn't test this particular part of it out, but I did kind of want a little, lounge area for that particular purpose. And, I think this really worked out well. But anyway, as you can probably tell here, the build is coming to an end. I want to say thank you so much for watching, especially if you are still listening to this, because, well, if you're not, you wouldn't be hearing this message. But if you are, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for giving me the watch time. I'm trying to grow a channel. It's not, that easy to do. But, yeah, if you like this video, I would really appreciate you leaving a like and a comment. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more. And you can always follow me on social media. I'm at Instagram at VisitJoan if you want to see behind the scenes, fun facts, or just little extras, sneak peeks, stuff like that I just want to do just because I need a outlet for some things. And you can also follow me on Twitter if you want to see my opinions on Sims-based stuff and other things that are going on, or not other things, it's mostly just Sims stuff, maybe Pokemon as well. But if you want to check out that, you can follow me on Twitter at VisitJoan Videos. Anyway, you guys, I am going to head up on out of here, but I really hope you guys have the rest of a good day and a good year, and I will be seeing you in the next video. Bye!